we have to get to the other side to grab a bus. But before we can do that, I am going to be explaining a couple of things to you guys in terms of how to basically travel around the city. I am going to be taking you guys on a little bit of a journey along with me. Before we could do that, I need to explain. This is just to show what couple of things that you can do around the city as a local and ways basically to travel around the city. So first thing that you need, since we are starting at the city central here in the city of Cape Town, what you basically need to do is you need to get yourself one of these. It's the My City Bus card, which roughly costs about 85 bucks. It's basically like your bank card, as you can see there, MasterCard. You load up some points onto this card. For example, to get the card is 35 bucks. 35 rand, South African rand, and then you can load up, let's say for example 100 rand gives you 100 points, and on top of that, what you can do, you can tell them to load cash onto this card so that you can use it as your transaction card instead of having to travel with your actual bank card. This is not linked to your bank account in any way. Even to attain it, you don't need any specific documentation at all. ID, nothing, identification documents, none of that. You don't need any of that. So once you have this, it's a little bit easier to travel around the city. Of course, another option that you have is Uber, but we're not focusing on Uber today because, well, Uber is everywhere. We're focusing on Cape Town, how to get around if you're trying to, save a couple of cents, if you want to, of course. So let's get into that right now. So the first thing that we're gonna have to do is load up some points on the card that I just showed you. So we're gonna be going down. I need to check firstly how many points I have on the card before we start loading up. So let's do that now. On arriving at the entrance of the bus terminus, simply tap your card on the machine to view the points available. For instance, I had 48 points and decided to add another 50 by requesting it from the personnel at the kiosk. This brought my total to 98 points. Once the transaction was complete, I headed to the bus terminal. Our destination for today is Hout Bay, and we need to go to platform number 7 as indicated on the side pillar. There, we will find the bus that will take us to the picturesque coastal enclave. So typically this is what you would this is what basically you would expect of Hout Bay. It's quite busy. It makes sense as well because it is actually the weekend. It is a Saturday today. So you see a lot of people on the beach. Traffic is horrible as you come into Hout Bay, and yeah. So as you can see, a lot of colorful umbrellas there at the beach. People just taking in the sun. So this is not our final spot, but this is our stop because we have to get another bus down there, which is gonna be taking us further that way. So that is what we're gonna be doing right now. I think it will be on the other side. We need to cross. We have crossed. So yeah, basically you'll also see a lot of vendors, people either selling art. I'm not gonna show you directly the art because they wouldn't like that. After looking at the artwork being sold along the sidewalk, I think it's time for us to catch our next bus. Unlike the central terminus in the city, this bus stop is situated alongside the road. Each route is numbered for specific regions, so it's important to always check the front of the bus to make sure you're getting on the right one for your destination. I'm searching for bus 108, which will take us to our next destination. Alternatively, we could take bus 118, but strangely, it's not indicated on the map. However, I checked on Google Maps and it does appear there. In the meantime, I'm gonna throw in a little bit of a time lapse of the traffic that's just passing around here. We've arrived in Hout Bay. I just got off the bus right now and see what we can get up to with the time that we have this side of the world. And yeah, I initially wanted to eat at that place there, to order something to eat, fish on the rocks, but it's absolutely packed, so I'm not gonna be doing that today. However, it's still not a bad idea that I came this side of the world. I'll show you guys from this good vantage point here how packed it is. At the same time, it makes sense, Easter weekend, so instead of people wanting to cook, they'd rather order something. When I arrived in Hout Bay, I had planned to have a meal at Fish on the Rocks. However, I noticed that there was a huge crowd there, and I realized that it would take too much time to eat, film a time lapse, and explore the area. Therefore, I decided to focus on capturing the time lapse first and then have a leisurely exploration of the surroundings, making sure that I wouldn't miss the sunset later on. Little did I know, it would be a nail-biting journey going back. Alright, cool. We are done for the day. We're done doing that time lapse, so we're gonna be heading to the other side now of things. So let's see what we can find. Just to see what's there. If there's anything interesting, then we will be heading back to Camps Bay and then Sea Point again. Yep. You wanna say hi?
Hout Bay.
Let's see what we can find this side of the world. Surprising how busy it is down there and how quiet it is here. But it makes sense, there's a lot of restaurants that side. I am walking this side not because I know the neighborhood, but because I've seen a lot of people as well, you know, just walking from the beach this side. Hout Bay Beach. So I'm pretty sure even behind me you can see there's people who are just walking. Hey, hey.
Yeah, I know you long time.
You know me?
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't think he knows me. He's just saying that. Or maybe he does know me, I don't know.
I was pushing my luck at this point. It was getting late and time was not in my favor. When I finally realized how late it had become, I knew I still needed to catch a bus to reach my next destination in time to capture the sunset, as I didn't want to break my rule of using no other mode of transportation besides the bus.
In the meantime, while we wait for it, as per usual, we throw in a little bit of a time lapse.
Determined to catch a glimpse of the sun before it dipped below the horizon, I regretted not arriving earlier. Still, the sight that greeted me was gratifying. Traffic had delayed my journey, yet here I was. Doubts had clouded my mind about seizing these fleeting moments, but they were now within our grasp.
Good news is I made it just in time before the sun actually sets. So what I'm gonna do is just make a quick time lapse and then probably we'll move on to our next location. See you later. That is going to be it in today's video. Thank you very much guys for watching. If you've watched up to so far, don't forget as well, as per usual, to check out all the links in the description box below. The links to the music that I use, music that you've heard me use throughout this vlog, and as well as the link to my website. Everything is in the description box below. Until next time, from me, David, cheers for now.